Bow, 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 bow.
WTF!
Bon qui, je m'appelle Ross Twiddell, your cultaholic heavyweight champion, and welcome to all the WTF moments from last night's WWE Raw. A WWE Raw that felt like a flight. You took off with a massive exciting part, then you went along and there wasn't really anything to note, and then you go down at the end and you feel like you're going to die for a split second before you land. What I'm trying to say here is, everybody, that 13 days out from WrestleMania 35, things happened, but not a lot. They got you excited for WrestleMania 35, so it wasn't that much of a good Raw, really. Signs, a lot of them. Thanks to Bridget Conway, a woman called Storm, Brandon Morrell, Steve Stopp, and one Rogue Warrior in the crowd for spreading the good name of Cultaholic throughout the WWE Universe. Boston is a cultaholic town. I never thought I'd say that, because when I was growing up, the only thing I knew from Boston was bloody A-Train, and I didn't like that hairy scrot. I wonder who that person killed to make that sign.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
So Corey reckons that WrestleMania momentum was on the line as all three women in the main event of WrestleMania 35 took place in a beat the clock challenge, and I reckon that Corey might as well said that Lampshade Carrots was on the line ahead of WrestleMania 35, because Lampshade Carrots is just as real as WrestleMania momentum. It's just as relevant as well. I tell you what now, for a woman who claimed that she's not going to do what WWE tells her anymore, Ronda Rousey did not do a good job of walking out there and fitting into the framework of a normal episode of Raw by cutting a promo to open the show now, didn't she? So I guess in that promo she cut way back when she said, WWE, you don't owe my ass. You're not going to tell me what to do. I guess we've just got to pretend that promo didn't happen, as almost as if it wasn't real, Ronda. Did anybody else forget that Becky Lynch is actually a SmackDown Live superstar who should really just be appearing on SmackDown Live in this supposed brand split era we're living through at the minute? That was just me, was it? Alright then. Aye, and I'm here in Newcastle upon Tyne to have Piers Morgan lick me toilet bowl, have Carol Vorderman feed me grapes, and have Sir David Attenborough read me a bedtime story. That's just as far-fetched as that bloody sign there. They really are pathetic at times now, aren't they? Oh, look at me! MLB, NHL, UFC, HBO, UFO, BBW, SWP, all of them. Look at me! I've got more Instagram followers than you, and me dick, it's really small. Nobody dare use that soundbite against me, please, because I'm trying to point out, WWE, you need to get a grip, man. Nobody cares. Hang on a second now. You are Bobby Lashley. Your best friends in the entire world are Big Bully Pastor Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre, and neither of those big sweaty men had matches announced before last night's Raw went on the air. You find out when you get to last night's Raw, you're going to have a tag team handicap match with Leo Rush against your boy Finn Bálor, but you find out Leo Rush has got a little boo-boo and can't take part in the match. But instead of calling one of your massive sweaty pals to be your tag team partner, you call on a man who hasn't won a match in the entirety of 2019, and a man who also has massive saggy nipples. You might as well have called on the help of Keith bloody Chegwin to help you win that match last night, Bobby Lashley, because him, even though he's not with us anymore, that would have been just as good as picking Jinder Muck's saggy nipples. So apparently Ricochet is now the Undertaker, because when he takes his hood off his head, some real life lightning goes off inside a WWE arena, and I think that's as dumb as piss. Oh! How did this get here? Watch! I'll show you! Hang on a second there. Wait a second now. Whap! Just for taking a hood off. So apparently Dash Wilder wears big money pajamas, and that had me screaming all kinds of WTF, because I know that Arn and Tully, way back in the day, they did it bareback. Yeah, what the hell am I saying? But according to a man called Steve Stopp, who was obviously a very trustworthy man because I had a cultaholic sign at last night's Raw, this is an inside joke from the Going In Raw Discord where Dash Wilder lost a bet and he has to wear big money pajamas, and because it's associated with Stephen Larson, it has to make sense, so we'll leave it there. It's a thing, alright, deal with it. Mago, 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 mago. Here is a dramatic reenactment of Maggle Cole saying the line on commentary on last night's WWE Raw, with arm actions and everything. Here's what Maggle Cole did when he said the following line. And that is why they call Ricochet the one and only. Nobody else in the world can do that. There is literally footage of a man called Pac doing a 630 to a man called Dragon Aizu of all people, on the YouTube right now. Just go and watch it, man, and you wouldn't make massive mistakes like that. But I guess we can let Mahal off with this one, because with Pac, well, gravity forgot all about him, didn't it? He's still got no nipples. They've gone away in the huff, and they still haven't come back over a week later. This is unbelievable. This is like Christian levels of temper tantrums, for Christ's sake, and I reckon they should grow up. Get a grip, will you?
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
So according to Corey Graves, Sasha Banks will be really embarrassed if she loses a throwaway singles match to a really good wrestler called Natalya in her hometown of Boston. Bloody hell, Corey Graves, could you imagine if Sasha Banks lost the Raw Women's Championship inside Hell in a Cell on a pay-per-view in a massive main event to Charlotte Flair in her hometown of Boston all the way back in 2016? Jesus Christ. She did? So she'll get over last night, Corey, alright? So in this little scene here, Sasha Banks is supposedly challenging the Iconics, the Chuckle Sisters, and Betty Phoenix and Natalya to a match at WrestleMania, and this is a moment that had me going all like, what the hell? No, hold up. This is because I saw Sasha Banks all over social media yesterday saying this before Raw went on the air. Just got told some exciting news. I'm jumping up and down all over the locker room. I mean, Jesus Christ, Sasha, when you tweeted that yesterday, you were clearly just told you're going to be on the WrestleMania card. Yet on Raw, you're supposedly challenging these people to a match at WrestleMania. It doesn't add up, does it? And I reckon the WWE just need to get all of their superstars off of social media, because time and time again, one thing on social media does not add up with the stuff we see on television, and it does my nut in. What's that arrow there for then? It's never normally there, but it's there. So let us know in the comments below. Cheers. So next up, we have the moment where two non-wrestlers were announced as part of the armbar just because Alexa Bliss said so, and because they weren't shown signing hold harmless agreements, we can assume that on top of their wrestling fee, they will also get millions and millions of pounds when they sue WWE. Aye, and good for them. And I don't know about you, but I reckon Alexa Bliss didn't think this one through. So Alexa, when it does go tits up and Braun Strowman murders one of those people, enjoy your future endeavours, pal. And then Mahal Cole claims that because those two random men there are in the armbar, it is historic. That's right, I'll be sat there in the future telling me grandkids, no I won't, I'm dying alone. I'll be sat there telling my three cats, Rusev, Alan and Dave, I was there when I saw Michael Thingy and Colin, that man called Colin, in the armbar on the kickoff show at WrestleMania 35. I wish you were there too, cats. Oh. So during last night's Raw, big bully bastard Baron Corbin was announced as Boston's favourite son, despite the fact he was born in Lenexa, Kansas. And I don't know about you, but with a second name like Rome, I thought that Mike Rome would have been really good at geography, and he would have just called him like you see him. Colosseum. I'm so sorry. But at the end of the day, none of this matters, of course, because I reckon the big bully bastard Baron Corbin isn't even his own mom's favourite son, and he was an only child. I really hope he was an only child. I didn't do the research.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
Here is a direct quote from Corey Graves himself. Could you imagine Samoa Joe may do the same to Kurt Angle what big bully bastard Baron Corbin just did to Apollo? If Samoa Joe ever does an end of days to win a match in WWE, Corey Graves, I will give you 10 pence, and you have my word, pal. 10 whole pence. So next up, we have Seth Rollins being all like, champions that inspired me in WWE are people that fought, like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. Hoorah! If that's so, Sethy Poo, why when you had your long world title reign back in 2015, did you do your best Ted Bundy impression? That the running away and escaping bit, not the murdering of lots of innocent young women bit. Never get that bit confused. Oh, and then in the same breath as these fighting champions like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, Seth Rollins also mentioned the dirtiest player in the game ever. That's how that one goes, Ric Flair. And because of this, I am now inspired by Kevin Malone in my quest to become Mr. Universe. Now, never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd see Paul Heyman have his trousers metaphorically pulled down on WWE Raw with microphone in hand, but somehow, someway, that young man there who looks like he could have been me when I was 9 years old murked Paul Heyman off, and I don't know what's real anymore. So we have a very small child pissing right in the face of Paul Heyman, while Paul Heyman has a microphone in hand. That, my pals, is the biggest WTF moment ever. And of course, after Paul Heyman was taking the piss out of these young people who say, oh, my uncle Mitchell is going for a bowel thing. I need your thoughts and prayers. Oh, I'm going down the shops. I need your thoughts and prayers. Seth Rollins said, nah, I'm not going to ask you your thoughts and prayers. I'm going to answer them by beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 35. And in that very moment, A man who calls himself CrossFit Jesus might actually have confirmed himself to be Jesus. Oh God. So next up we have the moment where Triple H had a letter stuck in his pocket and he said, ha 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 ha, because he's Seth Rollins now apparently, I've got this letter buried in me pocket. And did anybody else think that in that pocket, stopping that letter from coming out, could have been the likes of Booker T, Sheamus, Scott Steiner, the Spirit Squad, Goldberg, Sting, CM Punk, or thousands of other wrestlers that Triple H has buried down the years? You did too. Oh, good. Look at me. I'm Triple H, and I can't get this letter out of my pocket. I'm doing the job for this envelope. Oh, look at me! I'm Triple H, and I know that you know insider wrestling terms, so I'm going to stand here on this wrestling show that shouldn't use insider wrestling terms and use these insider wrestling terms, despite the fact we are presenting fights that are supposed to be real, so you get invested in them. Shove your smartiness up your arse, Triple H, man. What is going on? And then Triple H went on to say that Deacon Batista carried around with him a collection plate, despite the fact that we all know it was a collection box with a massive chain that went round his neck. So Triple H, to put some smartiness in this, no doubt about it, you've got some gobbledygooker egg all over your face. That's a wrestling reference that wrestling fans will get, so I'll say it so I endear myself to them. Arsehole. So then, Batista has already said that this match at WrestleMania 35 will be his last ever. And now, if Dave wins, which will not happen because he already said it's going to be his last wrestling match ever, Triple H now has to retire and never wrestle again. If the tag team partner of Shawn Michaels, if the former foe of Mick Foley, if the biological son of Ric Flair loses this match at WrestleMania 35, he can never, ever wrestle again. And I don't know about you, but the three men I mentioned there, they had retirement matches once upon a time, and they did wrestle again. So wrestling. So with 7, that is 1 more than 6, and 1 less than 8 minutes of the show remaining last night, a last man standing match started. You know, the match where you have to incapacitate your opponent so badly they cannot get up before the count of 10 reaches all the way to 10? That had 7 minutes. Unbelievable. Dean Ambrose is gone. How the hell can he come back from losing a 7-minute last man standing match and be a credible main eventer, which is probably where he should be, judged on his popularity? I'll tell you, you can't. And I think we have one more WTF moment where a commentator said Drew McIntyre was going to the top rope when it wasn't. It was Dean Ambrose. So ha ha. What more can we say? We hear this every week. It's almost as if it shouldn't be a WTF moment anymore. So I won't mention it, but I just did. And I'm rambling. Bye. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. And if you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can play us to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Cultaholic. Hit subscribe and join us